podcast for no reason. Today we'll be discussing Season 4, Episode 7, the one you've all been dreading, Jurassic Park. My name is Michelle Burlingame. With me are Tommy Roulette.
How's it going?
And Pete Woodward.
Ugh.
Our guest today is the lovely Becca Steiner.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us.
Hi.
Do you have the Hypnotoad sound, ready just in case,
Yeah.
Tom?
We need to get that.
We don't
forget all
We
about
don't
this.
have a real good. I mean, for a couple reasons, but just have it ready when you're editing.
And you specifically requested this episode.
I did.
And it's the...
Because it's so sad.
Oh, it's so
We've
sad.
actually taken the episode away from two people who also specifically requested it, so it better be good.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, we're just
No pressure, though. No pressure.
Yeah, I'm gonna hear no.
You
end-
better be good.
No end of criticism if you don't just knock it out of the park today. It has been forever since we even got together, much less recorded an episode. I got to go to Myrtle Beach, not a fan. I got to go to Orlando, Florida, not a fan. I got to go to Southern Illinois. Maybe it's lovely. The part I stayed in was just cold, and I could see the back of a Menards from my hotel room, and that was about.
Did you
was
save
about
big
it.
money at Menards?
No, I spent a lot of money on wine that week. And then just before we started, you were just going to put this up with no editing, which I think is a very dangerous idea, Tom. Because who knows where this is going to go?
I know. Who knows where it's going to go.
We're already out of sequence, and we didn't really even want to get to this one anyway. So
Yeah, we've been just putting it off and putting it off.
telling people they could do it, telling them they can't do it.
Just kidding.
You just got back from Philadelphia, too, right?
I did.
So
we
your mood
did.
should be pretty
yes. Becca, who I guess I should state just for the record, because in case there's any bias on this, is my girlfriend.
Oh, shit. I was going to totally flirt with you.
Full disclosure.
Full disclosure. We have a relationship that is
A conflict of interest.
not a conflict of interest.
Are you sure?
Why would it be a conflict of interest?
I don't know. People throw that term around.
I don't
a
even
lot.
know what that term means.
Did you file the appropriate forms with the Slurmcast HR department?
That's just the recycle bin in the other room. I just throw that out every Tuesday.
Yes, we went to Philadelphia. She actually got me. It was kind of a little surprise for my birthday, right?
Happy birthday.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, thank you.
This will be airing like a month after your birthday.
Yes,
Happy
yes.
birthday anyway.
No, it was fun. It was fun. Saturday was quite snowy, but
Saturday kind of
yeah,
sucked a little
we
bit.
did not plan for the weather, and we tried to do the tour of the Eastern State Penitentiary.
Oh,
and
it's very cold there.
It's
Oh,
very.
yeah.
It's
Oh, yeah.
You're walking through it, and you just have snow falling on you.
There's
and
no
it's
roof
just-
anymore, right?
I mean, and the tunnels.
No roof.
No
They're
roof.
not heated.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. So we weren't dressed
We didn't
for
dress
it. We
well
made
at all.
we went through for like 2 hours, but we got to a point where it's like we could walk all the way over here and see more of these just little tiny cells, but let's just get out of here. But other than that, it was good. The Mutter Museum was my favorite.
That I've never been there. I'm very interested in that, but overwhelmingly, and if anybody I work with, they probably don't listen to this. Here's this. I might get in trouble because that's where our headquarters is. But I found Philadelphia to be one of the dirtiest cities in America. Just it's kind of filthy. When you get off the plane, you guys drove, right?
Yes.
All right. When you get off the plane in Philadelphia, you're just assaulted with like filth. And if you're leaving, when you go through TSA, like like when I was very uncultured and didn't have TSA pre-check, like you go through and take off your shoes and your belts and all that other shit when you walk through the metal detector.
Right.
I don't have to do that anymore.
I did do that to see the Liberty Bell.
Yeah, well, that too. But the thing is, when you go through, you have the bench so you can reassemble yourself. Mm-hmm. And they've got not just one, but like a half dozen of these sort of padded, upholstered benches for you to, put yourself back together that look like they were chewed up by a dog, lived in by a homeless person for 4 to 6 months, peed on, vomited on, chewed up again by a dog, and then put out for the first time. And they've been there for like 5 years. I mean, they're just disgusting.
They're loved.
No, they're not loved. They're hated. Someone has very strong feelings against them. So, I mean, I've had good times in Philadelphia. Also, just heartbreak in that city going back, at this point, almost 30 years. Just, I can take or leave it, honestly. So when I texted you, because I thought you were in New York, and then apparently you pulled
Well,
a
we were going to
switcheroo.
drive one day
Yeah.
to New York, but there was just too much to see there.
You
And
don't
the
have to see
weather.
it all in one day.
The weather, I mean,
The weather was kind
the
of
weather
shitty.
Saturday really screwed us up because we didn't get much done.
Yeah.
Not to mention everything's open only until like 5.
Again,
So it's
New
like-
York is a city that never sleeps.
Right.
Ever.
Well, you know what?
They're all very
Next time.
cranky.
Yeah,
because
next
of
time.
it.
Next trip.
And also the traffic going to downtown Philadelphia is kind of stressful.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
So it was like we're down there and then everything is a one-way street. Everything.
all going the
and-
wrong way that you need to go.
Right.
We did go the wrong way once.
Yes, we
Oops,
did.
we did.
Luckily, I just turned right into a parking lot.
This is how bad we don't want to talk about a dead dog. We're talking about
Totally.
Philadelphia instead. So the Jumbotron was
like a bird in a cage?
Yeah, but tearing it apart, like kind of in a roid rage episode. Do I have that right?
It's called Hiss and Makeup, and it's a Merry Melodies cartoon.
I feel like that title has
Probably
come up.
kind of
Looney
like like a knockoff Tweety and
Sylvester.
Yeah, that's what I'm
knockoff or
thinking.
proto.
Could be either.
Was-
I don't know. I don't remember. I don't.
Did Merry Melodies predate Looney Tunes, or were they concurrent with each other?
I believe Merry Melodies created Looney Tunes.
Okay, so like one.
That
gave
sounds-
birth
that
to the
sounds
other.
right.
Yeah, I think Merry Melodies was like they would make cartoons, and then all of a sudden, like all the characters, like Bugs Bunny
Unionized
and
and said "fuck this,"
Daffy Dan. Yeah,
and then started
Yeah.
their own thing.
yeah. Have you ever seen Roger Rabbit 2? Where all the cartoon
Wait.
characters unionized?
Is there an actual Roger Rabbit too?
No, I think they wanted to make one, but I don't know what happened.
I don't. They better get on it because Christopher Lloyd's getting up there.
Have you ever seen Roger Rabbit, Becca?
No, I don't think
No.
so. No.
Just like the other discussion you were having off mic about Riptide, I bet that movie came out before you were born as well.
Oh, yes.
So meaning I'm just so fucking old. I think I was in high school when that came out. It was remarkable. It was cartoons and real people interacting in seemingly real time. So in addition, I know this episode is an iconic one for the series, but I'm not as excited about it for the reason you think I'm excited about it. My love for dead dogs is well established. But Bender is doing his magical act at the beginning. And I love this whole part of it because it was like another one of those things where just like, I want to be a magician. And he goes whole hog into it. So pulling off his head and his head is empty, which I didn't understand. Seems counterintuitive.
Yeah.
But Fry as the lovely assistant.
Wearing that fantastic leotard.
I know. What
I
was
want
with
that. I want that so badly.
It was like blue leggings and a darker blue, sparkly one-shouldered
Like an
leotard.
old-timey,
One strap, not two.
like a old-timey strongman.
Right, but I feel like that's what I probably at some point the actual magician's assistants in some shows probably wore.
I
was
yeah.
could
like,
see Amy wearing that like on a night on the town. I just want to have one of those. Like that's
has anybody ever seen like an actual like magician show?
I saw Penn and Teller.
That's different.
Th-
I'm talking
they're-
about
I mean,
like
they're
a
very-
David Copperfield
well,
type thing.
They do all the same kind of stuff. They're just not like
Why is it different?
the illusions are very real.
There is one guy that was at the Foundry one night that was doing magic, like street magic, but I've never actually been to a big like David Copperfield but I watched the specials on TV when they
Yeah.
were on. But I've always wanted to go to a magic show. I mostly end up at like sideshow, like blockhead, fire eating, sword swallowing type stuff.
I mean, there's a
Yeah.
there's an element of creepiness that comes into being just a magician in the first. I keep saying like musician, and it's probably interchangeable at this point. Just like guys that are into magic are probably pretty creepy, as a rule.
Can't trust him.
You know
Can't
what?
trust him.
My ex-father-in-law, who recently passed away, rest in peace. He was a magician. So he had always had like crazy tricks and could do all this like funny
cool.
stuff.
Was it like a kid show?
No, so he grew up like in the mountains in China.
Oh.
So there's like layers and layers to this, and he was just like this. For the record, as far as I can tell, horrible father, very very bad father. Always very nice to me. I actually liked him better than I liked my ex-wife. He was always a really nice guy to me, very interesting fella, but like always had like the pompadour haircut. And I saw these old pictures from like the 50s, and he's like in a tuxedo with like birds flying out of places, and, like,
fancy.
scarves and stuff. And just even like up into his old age, he always had little like magic trick things for the grandkids or whatever.
Yeah.
Like but I think when you come across someone in the wild like that, especially if it's like a street magician, because their whole thing is just like, I'm like the indie David Blaine. And it's just like, who?
I heard somebody told me about seeing David Blaine, and he did this thing where he was submerged upside down in a tank of water for 10 minutes holding his breath. So you sat there for 10 minutes just watching him in a tank of
Well, that's
water.
what Houdini did.
That's boring.
But what if he dies?
He's not
He
going
wouldn't
to die.
die.
But he might.
I mean, he might. How many people went to Siegfried and Roy and was like,
Exactly.
oh,
That tiger's not going to chomp him.
They're friends with the tigers. He's clearly a gentleman. So anyway, all of this was wonderful. But here's the thing. Bender explains the chest cavity. It's all subtext, but I finally have an answer.
Continue.
He pours the milk into his head or into his body, and he says, maybe it was banished to another dimension. And then it comes out of his chest cavity.
So you're saying his chest cavity is another
It
dimension?
is another. It is it is officially a TARDIS-like situation.
Okay.
Where inside the box is a multitude of who knows what, but by pouring the milk into the paper cone and having it come out of his thing, he says what happens to it. He says it's been banished to another dimension, and then it leaks out.
I'm okay with that.
Yep.
I am too. I don't have to
right.
ask about it anymore. I will refer to I'll still refer to it, but now I won't be
Magical
perplexed.
chest cavity is going to be the alternate dimension inside of Bender's magical chest cavity.
But I mean, it raises a whole other layer of questions. Number one, again, I've brought this up on the show. Why don't they make use of that same technology in like the Planet Express ship and stuff, where it's like, why don't they just shoot Bender in a cannon wherever and then have him dump out whatever's inside him instead of having to take a whole ship with a giant cargo hold? And
How would they
stuff?
get him back?
They can have, I don't know.
There's the flaw.
He just stays there.
I mean, he's done that the Inspector Gadget thing where he like,
Well,
You can't
Stretches
go
back
that
out.
far, though.
maybe he could store extra legs in his magical.
Do you think there's a
extra-dimensional chest
limitation? Does it
cavity.
have to fit within like the opening of his magical chest? Maybe that's the like it has to fit like the suitcase checker for your
I mean,
carry-ons at
there's
the
been
airport.
situations where he was
Has to
literally
fit.
stuffed full, like when he stole everything from Alcazar's palace when him and Leela were getting married. So I mean, there's clearly limitations, but the fact that it just explains how he could fit an entire swimming pool's worth of water and children in there without any sort of noticeable trouble. It made my day.
that makes sense.
It's a high point to start out on this episode.
Yes. Well, we better start out on a high point
Yeah,
because we're gonna end on a real low one.
I have a. Well, I'll make my confession later. But go on.
And we can not. I have a.
Yes.
No, I have a
Oh.
theory about the end of this that we'll discuss.
I think we might have the same theory.
Okay.
I think
All
we've
right.
talked about it
So
before.
no, I mean, when he got the newspaper, what did Bender say when he asked if he wanted to go see Weary? Does
Yeah, it's-
anybody
Oh,
remember?
you had friends before?
Yeah, that's
Or there's another line in there where he goes, interesting. No, what's the other thing? Tedious.
oh, tedious.
Yeah.
They haven't done like a museum gag in a while, and I thought that whole Treasures of the Stupid Ages thing was great.
It still holds up.
Yeah, loot from the pizza exhibition, cod pieces of the Federal Reserve Chairman, a pimp preserved in amber, and coprolites of the New York Knicks.
I had grabbed my glasses as that thing was playing, so I didn't see any of those.
No?
Yeah.
Do you know what coprolites are?
No.
They're petrified shit.
Oh.
So like when they find like fossilized dinosaur turds, those are coprolites. So it's just a big display of giant shits that the New York Knicks took.
Oh.
Hey, that joke's funny now.
I never got that. Well, I didn't. We've been to several museums this weekend, and
Yeah,
we
there
didn't
was
see
no
any of
displayed
them.
poop.
You know what? I bet at the Motor Museum there was.
No, there wasn't.
Really?
There was a lot of.
Technically, I mean,
I
there
mean,
was
there's
like
probably some.
the
Wasn't there
giant
the
colon.
Yeah, what was that full of?
Probably. Should.
It was like fluff inside. It was just
Yeah,
like a
it was all-
casing.
Oh, they stuffed it?
Yeah.
Not with shit?
No, there was no poop in
No. It looked like hay or tobacco or. I think it was tobacco.
Probably
It was
tobacco.
the world's biggest blunt.
Oh.
there. Oh,
That's like a Last Man on Earth gag. He's just carrying that around, or he turns it into a bong or something. I need to catch up on that show.
I gotta say though, for like whatever happened that caused like the original New York to like be underneath New York, that they keep unearthing everything. I like Panucci's Pizza obviously was a very good staple in that neighborhood because it lasted and it just was still intact. Whatever happened,
Wasn't it an alien invasion?
we don't know what happened
I mean,
exactly when what
Well,
happened when.
This is true.
I mean, 1,000 years. There's a lot that.
I mean, I think in a place like New York now, this happens more and more, but it has been one of those places where you could have just a little corner shop that's there for decades and decades and decades and decades. You get a little bit of that around here still, you know. Actually, the sausage shop in Brooklyn is closing because the family that owns it are retiring, but they've been in business
I
for
saw
like
that.
80 years.
I saw that. That's sad.
They make not if they're
I
they're
mean,
like,
unless
"This is a
they
good
want to
run."
retire. Yeah.
Like I'm sick of encased meats. I would never think such a thought, but if I had to be around them every single day, I might get a little tired of it after 40 or 50 years. Godspeed to them in their retirement. I hope they can enjoy it. I have to go buy some bratwurst after this. The pizza paddle that they had, where he's like, this is for paddling the delivery boy.
I like Fry takes his hair and pulls it down, and he's like, he realizes that it's him.
I didn't even catch that part.
Oh,
Just-
yeah.
Or just in that robotic.
Like the robotic delivery boy, and he like looks up to him and he pulls his hair down like with the hat because
Oh my
his hair was
God! I
down
didn't
in
even
the front.
catch that. I thought it just had one eye, like Leela. It's not just used to paddle my butt, but also to move pizzas and crush rats. I mean, have any of you ever worked in a pizza shop?
No.
I haven't.
No.
The only food service I ever really did was I worked at a Subway.
That doesn't
Oh.
count.
You were a
Doesn't-
sandwich
Number one, it's
artist.
I
not-
was.
It's not
It doesn't
food.
count. It's sort of food. The bread is baked there, and I know because I burned myself pretty badly on the bread.
You should have
pan
had
one
a
time.
paddle.
Yeah.
When you went to art school, that you could have gotten an internship working at Subway as a sandwich artist, and it would have counted.
That was my high school job, so I never would have gone back.
Some too smart kids should have turned that into like an internship or something.
And it would have been an art project.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like a performance art piece. What are you
I
doing?
mean-
Sandwich art.
The Magic Gardens is an art piece, and that's just nuts.
What?
Magic Gardens in Philadelphia. It's crazy.
Wait. So it's Like nuts as in bonkers, or
Like-
nuts as in it's made out of cashews?
No, it's just crazy. There might be cashews somewhere in that mess.
There probably are.
Is that
That's
the,
Brandy said she has
yeah.
a tile there.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know what you're talking about. I mean, she just sent that to them. I don't know.
They could have. They
They
probably used it.
Everything
Or it's
is
somewhere.
tiled.
And there's like several murals of this guy. I'm not knocking his art whatsoever. It's great. But I was just saying that
It's bonkers.
Subway, being an intern at Subway because they're sandwich artists for an art school project
Yeah.
would be the ultimate art on art.
I mean, we talked about 2D art. We talked about 3D art. We talked about 4D art, which involved what conversation
The
hearts and
fifth
vomit.
D.
The
Taste.
5D sandwich art.
It's taste.
You could really layer it. You could get the big Jared pants, but like strap a hula hoop into them so that they were just kind of like the
know.
clowny thing. But you'd be reclaiming it.
I think they're distancing themselves from Jared since the whole pedophile thing happened.
Well, that's true.
He's
but
in Super Size Me.
Yeah.
really?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was a while ago, though.
That debunks the whole thing, though.
Is he in Super High Me?
No, I don't think so.
I don't know how I feel about that. You need to show up in both of those for it to be true. It's a Venn diagram that's like two separate circles.
Yes. Doug Benson wasn't in both.
I think he was in one of them. At some point there's an overlap between Doug Benson and Morgan Spurlock because he named like 4 of his stand-up specials and movies after Morgan Spurlock movies because that's the kind of shit Doug Benson does. I love it. He's like, I'm going to just make a stupid pun that references something else because the legion of stoners that follow me will like it. There was a sign for Crust Lovers Pizza, which, I mean, like...
That would be me. I am a crust
I
lover's
love like a
pizza.
good pizza crust, like those bubbly breads. Do they still make those?
Bubbly breads?
You like the pre-made
the actual name of it?
Boboli?
Oh yeah, they make those
like
at the grocery store.
yeah, like the whole. You can heat them up and top them yourself. It's never as
Yeah.
good as regular pizza, but like just those where it's like spongy and has that texture that's just like good. Like that. I mean, basically, that's all Papa John's breadsticks and cheese sticks and all of those things are is just crust.
Yep.
A sucker for
Pretty
it.
good. Yeah.
Because carbs are going to kill me.
Bread is great.
I love bread.
The mention of using the paddle to crush rats brought back a memory.
Of you actually crushing a rat with a pizza
Oh
paddle?
man.
Not with a pizza pan, but I used. I don't. This place isn't even around anymore.
Around here? Was it around
No, it was
Cleveland?
it was in Columbus.
No. Gumby's Pizza.
No,
I love Gumby's
Gumby's
pizza.
was and then it turned
Gumby's
into
is great.
Babyface.
Oh, is it
Was.
different now?
It's been a no. I'm confusing them. It was freaking pizza, then it turned into Babyface. They're all gone. That entire
Babyface?
that
Did Babyface actually own it?
the R&B producer.
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
That whole area has been gentrified into like Whole Foods and malls because the kids were too scared of South Campus from back then.
You know what? Can I admit something, guys? Gentrified? I don't know what that means, and I'm too afraid to ask now.
It means like basically low income neighborhood or depressed-ish neighborhood, but that has its own culture and community where white people move in and bring yoga studios and coffee shops and basically ruin it.
Another one of the many ways that white people ruin
Yeah,
everything.
it's basically colonization through real estate flipping. But no, I worked actually. I'm a character in a novel that a friend of
There's a
mine wrote
King of the Hill
about
episode about that.
the book that I was in.
No, the gentrification.
Oh yeah. So if you're interested, it's in Amazon. It's called The Bialy Pimps.
You wrote this?
I did not. A guy I used to work with at this deli wrote it.
Oh.
It's kind of fictionalized. There's a lot of shit in it that sounds just completely over the top, and a lot of it is. There's a good portion of it that's true, and I'm one of the characters, under a pseudonym. But anyway, I worked at this stoner deli on High Street across from the Ohio State campus in the late 90s. So anybody who knows that knows exactly what I'm talking about. And like every building on that High Street at that point, basically had a rat problem. And just multiple times I was a party to a vermin extinction because it's a matter of life or death. They carry diseases and plague and everything else. And, we had traps and we had safe things, but sometimes you had to take matters into your own hand because you're at war with vermin. That's all I'm going to say about that. I don't want to get. I'll tell you the real story. It's pretty crazy.
Can I ask you one question?
Yeah.
Because rats are very smart. Why did you not capture a whole bunch, train them to fight
army.
for you? Have a
Well,
little rat army to fight against your other.
He's not Zardulu.
No, yeah, you have
the-
like your pet rats. These are different. These are like the mutant, like basically like Splinter from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but without the robe and rabies.
They don't all have rabies.
No, they all had rabies. I'd find like
I feel like
I
rats are
would
too
open
small
this
to get
deli.
rabies. I don't think they can get rabies.
these rats were like the size of Cody.
Oh,
They were huge. They're just big. I mean, big. You could. I mean, they probably would feast on them on The Walking Dead. They were big rats. And I'd come down. I had to open the deli every morning because I lived upstairs. I'd come down.
Were they capybaras?
No,
Capybara.
they were just straight up street rats. And like, I'd find the turds, and I'm just like, all right, they're in here.
Oh.
And I had to like scare them away. But sometimes they got bold as shit. And it got bad. Like I'm not advocating cruelty towards animals.
No,
I'm
I
not
get it.
advocating killing animals, but like these are straight up vermin.
In an area
Vermin.
where food is prepared.
Yeah,
solely.
I'm trying to.
that's-
Yeah.
Trying to protect people, even though some of those people were dirty hippies.
Well, even the North Market is fucking infested
Yeah.
with mice and rats.
Oh, for
and nobody
sure.
thinks about that when they go to buy their fucking $10 cookie at the bakery or whatever, the Chinese food. Like, it's riddled with mice. I had my high school boyfriend worked there and used to tell me stories all the time about having to kill mice and rats underneath the counters
Oh yeah.
in the bakery where he worked.
I mean, basically, even with that being said, because I mean, now I just recognize this stuff if I'm going wherever. Oh, there's a rat trap. There's a rat trap. You
Yeah.
see them, the little black box with the round holes. What are those for?
It's a speaker.
It's a leprechaun. It's a leprechaun house. But like, I still at any reasonably well-maintained restaurant, even if they are infested with vermin, it's probably cleaner than my kitchen on any given day. I live in filth. And
No.
I'm fighting it, but like still, it's they use way more bleach than I do. They degrease things. I maybe do it twice a year. That's all I have the energy for. That's something where you've got a crew of people that are doing it. Even if they're doing it half-assed, we still aren't talking about the dead dog.
I know.
I was just thinking about that.
Oh.
It's like, can we avoid it in any way? Petrified sausages, old Mr. Fratelli, Seymour.
Well, that's the least appetizing calzone I've ever seen.
I was trying to figure out, was he petrified? Was he encased in stone? Had he just like mummified? What was the condition of Seymour?
They do say later that he is Dolomite, but also has a creamy dog
DNA
nougat.
center? Yeah.
So
I feel like maybe
I'm not sure. He
it
didn't-
was- it's almost like a weird volcano erupted that like just
Like in Pompeii when you see the
it-
bodies.
I think we'll
that
get
are-
to this at the end of the episode, into the material that Seymour is made out of.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
they talk about it.
We don't
but
know.
Yeah, so there's a flashback with, Fry getting sent out to deliver pizza to a Seymour Asses.
August 1997.
Yeah, so the
Isn't
man,
that the year or the same month and year that Princess Diana died?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
I think so.
She's always been dead, but she lives in our hearts.
It's the People's Princess that you're talking about, Pete.
Well, she's
So-
not my princess.
So Fry tries to deliver this pizza, and he rings the doorbell, and the guy inside says, "There's no one here named Seymour Asses. There is no person named Seymour Asses. I hope in time you realize what an idiot you've been."
I was
And
wondering
Fry
about
goes,
that.
I wouldn't count on it.
Was that guy that we don't see, was he maybe an ancestor of Randy that pops up as an extra every once in a while? Because the voice was very similar. I'm just wondering if he was like, Fry is the professor's nth generation uncle. Was that guy is like, there is no one here with that name. There's no one anywhere. Like, was that Randy's nth generation father, uncle, whatever?
Could be.
We can only
We're still waiting for the DNA results, Pete.
You can get those like in the mail now.
Yeah, did you read the
23andMe?
article about how they just
Make stuff up.
make stuff up and will negate things
Do
in case
they?
to make people upset and
Don't you send in like a cheek swab?
Yeah. And then sometimes like it gets mixed with other people's DNA and you
What?
don't even know.
Yeah.
And, like some
Ugh.
yeah.
If
If
you
I'm
do
selling
it right,
my
it
DNA to
does.
research companies, I expect my results to be accurate.
I
And
leave
also-
that up to the Red Cross.
I've donated to them as well. Take my blood, make super soldiers.
Oh, wait, they
out of
take blood?
Short, what, the Red Cross?
I think I've made a terrible mistake.
Oh no. Okay. So Fry realizes that there's no such person as Seymour asses and goes around the corner with the pizza and there's the dog. The dog looks hungry, so Fry gives him a piece of the pizza and says, if Mr. Panucci asks, your name is Seymour Asses. And he's feeding the dog. They're sitting in the alleyway eating the pizza.
But he's not judging Fry constantly.
Right.
Like all
Not like all the other
dogs.
dogs. So I did notice when Fry walks off, he tries to say goodbye to Seymour and he says, live long and prosper. And he does the Spock hand, but he's only got 4 fingers. So it was like
like
an
one of
index
these?
finger. It was his index
It was
finger
a
and
shocker.
his pinky and ring. It wasn't the shocker. I was specifically going to say
Oh.
it wasn't like they did it the other way so that it wouldn't be the shocker. But I don't know if you can even do that with a human hand with 5 fingers.
The shocker's not a real thing, is it?
Well, I mean,
As we've established over and over on the show, I'm old. I mean, I know what it's supposed to be. Just never come across it in the wild.
In the wild.
the wild. So Seymour doesn't want to leave Fry because Fry fed a hungry dog, and that's
What?
the lesson you learn when you feed a hungry alley dog.
Could a dog go a month without eating?
I think
You
a month,
think?
Yeah,
probably.
probably.
I mean,
Not
It wouldn't be good.
I
Yeah.
think a dog that's gone a couple days or weeks without eating will figure out stuff to eat that'll at least
He's gonna eat
sustain it.
trash.
Yeah.
It's not gonna not eat anything.
Right.
It's like we've
Okay.
talked about the goats before. Like they got the reputation for eating tin cans because they'll just be like, I'm gonna stick my goat tongue up in this can and get every last little bit out. Dogs are resourceful too.
Yeah, I guess so.
Have you seen those end of the world shows that is it History Channel or Discovery Channel did? Where they say like, what will happen when the world ends? And it's like all the nuclear power plants explode and
That seems
and
more
all the
like
cats escape and all the dogs eat the humans and become wild pack animals and
And they
yeah,
become the
they
humans.
become they eat the humans that are all dead.
That was a key part of the plot of the movie Suburbia too, wasn't it? The
No, that's about a bunch of punks that don't want to live with
Look,
their
I don't
parents.
know.
when Jack Spratt or whatever his name is driving the new guy around the empty houses that they're squatting in. There's a bunch of dogs running around, and I remember this distinctly. I'm gonna try and say it from verbatim. He goes, "When the county forced all these people to move out of their houses, some of them left their dogs behind, and coyotes came out of the hills and fucked them. After a while, wild dogs." You don't remember that part?
I do. Okay, now I remember that.
I don't
part.
think that's Discovery or
No.
or History. That's probably the Learning Channel because their programming has taken a steep, veer away from anything regarding actual knowledge learning.
Yeah.
I had mixed feelings about the native Martian protesters. Again, just like I had mixed feelings about them back when they were on Mars, but it just seems like, history being
yeah.
20 or hindsight being 2020, it's a little insensitive and sort of a cheap gag. Maybe
I mean, I think this is more about the Native Americans.
yeah.
not necessarily the whatever
The native Martians.
The native Martians.
Who I've been fighting the hell out of in Worlds of Tomorrow. That's a whole other thing. There's that Wong point thing a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, they have the Christmas thing going on now.
Yeah, Xmas is up. I've already maxed out my leveling.
Me too.
So
It's
the
total
game
bullshit.
feels pointless.
Yeah.
What level?
60.
I'm at 30.
You
Oh,
got a
man.
ways
Catch
to
up,
go,
Tom.
I'm looking at my notes and realize that I missed a very obvious joke turn on this, where Fry's sign says, "Give me back my pet rock."
Yeah.
I just like, oh, that's funny. I never put together that Seymour was a petrified
Oh.
dog. Like it just,
Yeah.
I didn't put it together. But his whole chant of what do we want? Fry's dog.
When we want it. Fry's dog.
And then he dances the hustle to protest.
His people's native dance was the hustle. And Leela's got the book, what does it say? Ancient Dances of the Bronx or something like that. According to this, it was a ritual to get the ladies something.
I don't know. It seems
Usually a Trans Am.
that's just are those even a thing anymore? Can you
Trans
still buy a
Ams?
Trans
Yeah.
Am?
Yeah, there's no Pontiac, but there are still Trans Ams that exist.
I understand they're still there. I mean,
But you can't buy a new model.
You can't buy a new Pontiac because
Yeah.
that's not a thing. Okay, thanks. I should know that. I'm old.
I love how people make fun
Ladies
of
love
Trans
the
Ams, but
Ams.
they're not
They're
bad
cool as
looking.
fuck, man.
Yeah, they're
I almost
cool.
bought a Trans Am, but
I'd
then
have
I
one
didn't.
fucking
That
giant
sounds dangerous.
Firebird on the front of it.
I always got confused because there was I think the Firebird was different than a Trans Am.
But I think
They are different, but there is the big giant phoenix bird on the
Yeah.
hood of every Trans Am.
But what's the difference between a Firebird and a Trans Am?
I don't know.
You used to work at a car shop.
I know.
You should know these things.
I've never actually seen a Firebird.
It's like a Trans Am. That's the confusion. I mean, I could tell a Corvette apart from a
Somebody
Camaro.
call in and tell us.
Yes, if any of our science fiction cartoon enthusiast fans are aware of these muscle car distinctions, please enlighten us, because we're dumb. Or some of us are anyway. You're just sitting there judging, Becca.
No,
like,
I'm not. I
all
swear,
this
I'm
stuff.
not.
She's like,
What do you know about
these fucking
Trans Ams?
imbeciles don't know shit about muscle cars.
I just got a muscle car calendar from the Beverage Square that I get in my
Sam's? Is it Sam's?
No.
I love
But
their calendars. The Sam's.
it's the same thing, but
You
it
guys
has
really
a
calendar.
different.
You guys
Story.
get calendars from your liquor stores?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. And
I-
the Chinese delivery. If you order Chinese food and have it delivered to your house in the month of December and January, you will get a cool Chinese
We
calendar.
just got our
Ooh.
Chinese calendar. I'm just upset with the amount of money I spend on alcohol in any given day that I don't have anybody giving me a calendar.
Where do you usually go?
I go all over, Tom. If I go to the same place all the time, it looks really bad.
Oh. Well,
I got to keep that in mind because I might have to be a disgruntled
you
customer.
get a calendar because you're not a regular.
Look, just because
anywhere.
I go to 3 different
Or you're
places
regular
doesn't mean they don't each
everywhere.
see me 3 days a week. It's sometimes twice on Sunday. It's, just
the 29 you say. Oh, well, that's all I need to know.
yeah. Fry makes reference to the mushroom in his shower. Oh yeah, and it's
always
always
there waiting for me, like the huge mushroom in my shower.
I feel like that's come up before. Did you live in a place that had shower mushrooms?
No, but I don't think I've told this story. You might be reading my mind because
Okay.
I do have an anecdote
All right.
about mushrooms in the shower. So my dad, when I was a kid, used to be a medical supplies delivery guy. So
Wait,
people,
that's not code for drug dealer, right?
No. It's actual, he would drive around oxygen tanks and hospital
Okay.
beds to people who were, house ridden due to their medical conditions. So
Where were they? What were they doing before they got there?
what?
Were they just sitting on the couch waiting?
What do you mean? The people that are waiting for medical supply? It's just like my dad would
A
deliver.
bed, if they didn't have a
Oh,
bed.
well, like you get into a car accident and you're in the hospital. When you come
Oh,
home,
okay.
you need like
the bed's going to be there
yeah,
already.
like
Okay.
yeah. So my dad would drive all over Ohio and deliver this stuff. And he had to set it up for these people who usually were incapacitated in some way or another. And there was at one time he went to deliver, something, oxygen tank or a bed or whatever medical supplies this person needed. He asked if he could use the bathroom, and he went in, and the entire floor, shower, walls covered in mushrooms. He said it was the grossest thing he had ever seen.
The grossest or the most awesome? Because I could see that going either way.
Well, he said it was like there were piles of newspapers on the floor that they were like growing out
just
of,
moldy.
like
Yeah.
mold and mushrooms and shit. Like, I don't know.
I bet there are undiscovered species in that house, probably.
Well, this was when I was this was probably like 20 plus years ago. So who knows now?
I could have had that job, goddammit. I could have seen the mushroom bathroom. I've missed out. I've made a horrible mistake.
I mean, I've lived in houses where the bathroom was not at all.
I know who
good.
all of your roommates have been. That doesn't surprise me.
Oh, when the guy who lived in my basement died,
Oh yeah, yeah.
his bathroom was just literally ceiling to floor black mold. They had to gut the whole thing.
no.
When they took the shower out, my roommate was home, and she said it was like she could smell it she was out on the back porch smoking a cigarette, and she could smell it when they took it out of the basement and loaded it into the truck.
So you basically just lived above Lovecraftian horror.
Well, if anyone wants to live in the apartment under my house,
Freshly refurbished.
it's been painted, and there's a brand new toilet and shower.
They threw up
and,
some paint and put a new toilet in.
the entire apartment is robin's egg blue.
Just a tiny bit of Cthulhu.
Yeah.
In the
They threw
John.
a carpet over the corpse. It's fine. It'll decay eventually.
Yeah, or petrify. And then you got dolomite on top. The whole thing with Mr. Panucci toweling off Seymour with the dough.
You been in the sewers again?
Yeah, the sewer water, and then just laying it back out and going. I mean, the reason I asked if you'd ever worked in a pizza place is I worked in a pizza place in college. This is before the hippie stoner deli. This was actually this covered all the bases. There was a sandwich shop on one side, and an ice cream shop in the middle, and then a pizza shop on the other, and they all connected in the back. So you could, I mean, it was like Epcot Center of shitty food. So you could go and make a sandwich, and then you could go and make a pizza or a calzone or pasta, and then you could follow it up with ice cream. You could do them all together. I mean, and that was the best because you could do like some real alchemy. You'd be like, I'm gonna make an
Was it
employee meal.
accessible to customers? How they're all
Yeah, well,
connected?
it was a counter
Oh, okay.
in like a student building. So it just the way that stuff gets made, especially in like an industrial sized kitchen where you're just like churning it out and churning it out and churning it out, it's dangerous. Like have you ever seen like the KitchenAid mixers?
Mm-hmm.
Like imagine one that's big enough for you to sit in with a big metal hook to just like mix the dough. You like dump it in 50-pound bags of flour and stuff. I'm sure all kinds of stuff fell in there. So seeing the hair in the sauce.
It's vermicelli.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. Oh my God, you can do two things at once: eat and swim.
Oh, three things.
I've tried. I don't think I've tried to eat and swim, but I think I can get the third one taken care of.
Jesus.
I can't actually swim and pee at the same time. I have to stop and just stand there.
Stationary.
Are you
Or wait.
admitting?
It helps
Wait
you
in
go
the pool.
faster. Number one,
I mean,
your
not the
body's
pool.
getting lighter.
I mean, no.
Not a pool. I mean regular water. Bathtub. The bathtub.
Worse.
It's extra propulsion and it helps you go faster. I mean, if you're down at the bottom of the pool, it'll help you rise right to the top. You need to master these skills if you want to survive this modern world, Tom. But that's
It helps if it's a jet pool because then you don't even know that it's happening.
Oh, you just become overstimulated. It's kind of nice because sometimes when you overstimulate your body, it helps turn off your fucking brain. I don't know why that came to mind. It's just a very, very frequent thought that I have sometimes now. But eventually, okay, so what did he say to the historians about how did he get Seymour back? Because like they didn't want to give it to him. They're like, no, we have to study this and da 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 da.
Well, before he gets him back, there is a Leela line that I wrote down that was pretty good, where she says, "Fry, you can't keep boogieing like this. You'll catch a fever of some sort."
She's very sidelined in this episode, I felt like.
Yeah, definitely. It was a very Fry focused.
Yes.
Fry and Bender. It was
Yeah.
like pretty much it.
Yeah.
Did Zoidberg even have a line?
We're getting he had a great one.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Oh, he said, Fry said something like, well, he was always had that wet dog smell, even when he was dry.
Wait, I remember, and he chased the 29 bus, like the 29.
Oh, the
that's all we
29?
needed.
Yeah.
That took care of it. So they give it back, but then it turns into Bender doing another magic show, but he's using Zoidberg.
That's right.
And is it Zoidberg and Amy?
I don't
As
think they
he's
show
in-
who's in the.
Who's in the
feed,
bottom?
yeah.
Yeah, they never show who's
It
in
was
there.
me the whole time.
He's just messing it all up because Zoidberg
He
does
hits
that.
him.
I was in this box.
You're not worthy of wearing Fry's leotard.
And then it gets real weird with the cloning.
That brings up the questions that I wanted to ask about
Okay.
cloning.
Yes.
Have we asked them
Is it
before?
real?
Is cloning? Yeah. I mean,
Dolly, the sheep.
the sheep.
We were at the history museum. They were talking about those goats that were genetically cloned.
Oh, yeah,
to
that's
make
right.
like that
Cleveland or
spider
in
silk.
Philadelphia?
Oh yeah.
Pittsburgh.
No, it was in Pittsburgh. It was the natural.
What is it with Pennsylvania museums and you guys? Like
We had to go to all
we
of
took
them.
a road trip.
this was all on the same trip. Did you stop in
Yeah.
Pittsburgh on the way home?
No,
No,
on the way there. We went to.
You went to both of the P cities in Pennsylvania.
Yep. We went to the Mattress Factory Museum, Art Museum.
It was art, not mattresses.
I saw how a mattress is made.
Yeah. Did you see those little springs? The CGI springs with the construction hats on?
Yes, that's all that
Are
was
they-
in there.
Yeah, cool.
Were they like grunkalunkas? They're just springs.
No, I know. No, I know cloning is real. Would you clone your pet if it was possible?
I think we know the answer to that in my case.
I know. I'm not asking you. I'm asking both Becca and myself about our animals. Michelle's not involved in it.
I'm not involved.
No, I'm just kidding. No, both of you. Would
No, it
you?
wouldn't be the same.
You wouldn't do
It's
it.
not the same
No,
animal.
it's not
No.
the same. It would look like it, but
What if it was the Cubert version of Cody?
With the smush nose.
Well, sometimes I
Oh.
wonder, like, if I'd had my cat when she was a kitten, if she would have, like, been even better. Like, she's great. My cat's cool, but she's not very, like, cuddly. She's nice, but she will, like, go and sit and watch you from afar. And then she'll occasionally come up and cuddle with you for 5 or 10 minutes, and then she'll run away.
So what
and she'll
you're
go back
saying
to
is
her
she's
perch.
A cat.
Well, I mean, the other cat my roommate's cat, he's, like, all over me 24/7. He's cuddling
creep?
up in the bed and
Yeah.
whatever. And I wonder, like, if I had trained her from her kittenhood, would she have been, like, more sociable or something?
No.
I don't know.
I think
no?
lady
Not
cats
true.
are just mean.
Yeah.
Did
Not
she have,
mean,
like, a-
but they're just like
It's
more
like nature
standoffish.
versus nurture with cats.
Did you make a wire frame cat mother to nurse her off of, or like the old site? It came up with the in the Conversations Heart episode. They had the wireframe man that was like, "I have no opinions and I'm willing to
Yeah.
change." You know, with the thing. I would.
Does he have a brother?
Well, wait. So that's you guys. What about you, Becca?
Would I clone them?
Yeah.
No, probably
Not at all.
not.
Not at all.
Maybe Ganja. I have this golden child cat at my
Okay.
parents' house, so I'd probably clone him.
I would have cloned our fish that's gone because they all died. unfortunately.
Oh,
I just noticed that.
Yeah, you haven't been here in a month.
What happened?
Bella, Princess, and Dorothy all they're not robust things. So Bella was a good fish. Actually, so was Princess and Dorothy, and I feel bad that all of them passed away. Even Ice Cream, the fish from last year. Ice Cream was a good fish. These other fuckers that tear up the furniture and everything, I would tell my wife that I was going to get them cloned.
The cockroaches?
The cats. And then I'd put them in the cloning machine and I'd pull a bender and be like, whoops, threw them in the lava. Sorry. No more of them. You can get that dog you wanted. I miss my old dogs. I'd clone them. They were really nice.
See, I don't think I would at all. Because it wouldn't be fair.
Why?
I don't know.
You're effectively giving them immortality.
It's definitely
But you're not
it's not the
cloning
same
their
animal.
personality.
Yeah, it's not the
the
same
body.
animal.
I mean, we
it's
could
only
even
cells.
Would you, I mean...
I don't know if I would or not, because I don't think it would ever end up being the same pet, because that all depends on how you train it, how much time you spend with it. Like it's not the same.
Listen,
Even if it died tragically.
What if it was like a Pet Cemetery thing, though, and it came back and it
Yeah.
was like really angry and nasty and horrible?
I mean, here's the thing. I know all of you guys are neuroscientists and stuff, but I just want to put this out there. You're saying that if you clone them, the personality wouldn't be the same. However, just ride with me. I'm going to posit that our personalities are effectively, built out of the way that our brains have wired themselves together. Like, when you create new memories and things, like there's new pathways that are forged in your brain. You are the sum total of the actual cellular connections that are going on inside your skull. So if you could take an animal at whatever point and not just clone it from the DNA, but like clone the actual like physical structure of its brain, wouldn't the personality be the same? Training everything,
But
when you have
that
to
also-
potty train it, none of it.
That brings
In
up, but
theory.
that's also the nature versus nurture. How much is nature versus how much is nurture?
No, because if that's the case, I'm not saying that nature versus nurture, I mean, both of them affect the development of the brain of a living thing. We'll take that as a given, because you could take two identical things and run them off differently, and some things will be the same and other things will be all fucked up and different. That's a given. But like your brain literally changes physically based on the experiences you have.
Right.
So if you could take an animal at whatever point and not just clone the DNA, but literally clone the same physical structure of its brain, I would think that the personality would therefore be identical, because you're rebuilding it to that point. You're not just growing it as a
But
fetus.
wouldn't
into
it
a
Only if
thing.
the memories are stored in the creamy core of the dog.
Well, where else are they going to be stored?
Also, is it being cloned right to the point where it was died? Because then what's the point? If it's being recloned from the beginning,
I mean, the whole process
and like
of
being
cloning.
a puppy.
This is the mistake that people make all the time. Creating a clone of yourself will not create a duplicate of yourself at current age.
This is
Right.
bullshit.
It's bullshit.
Except you get that machine in multiplicity.
You would have, if you cloned yourself, you would need an egg still. You still need an egg from a woman to implant with DNA and create a fetus. And then you would have a baby you. And then you would have to grow a baby you to adulthood. And then you would have a clone of you
This sounds
eventually.
like some kind of feminist revisionist history.
Right. And you would
No,
be.
I mean, has anyone ever
you would
played
be,
Metal Gear
however,
Solid?
much
Come on.
older than your clone all the
I
time.
have not. I don't know what that is.
So the answer is cloning's not real.
It's real. It's just
Let's pretend.
What about clowning? How do you feel about
The
clowning?
answer is dinosaurs never existed.
crappy, ineffective Reaper.
We're still not talking about the dead dog.
We're trying
I'm
to
trying.
keep it light.
I am trying to get you guys back on track.
But these are serious metaphysical questions that nobody needs to hear our take on. Bender, again, the emotionless robot, gets so bent out of shape that he's not Fry's best friend compared to Seymour.
I think it's for a selfish reason, though.
Yeah, it's totally selfish. He kills.
He's very selfish.
Well, we'll get there. But Cubert, as much as I hate him, good intro line of why the idiot convention. Which, I mean, you really got to bust that out
Hubert.
more often.
Fucking Hubert. I hate Hubert. I'm glad the professor gave him that toe. Gross.
Whose toe was that in the Clonatron?
Was it the professor's toe or was it Cubert's toe?
I think it was
Yeah, it was
his
like
toe.
an extra
Was it-
toe.
Yeah, I think.
Did he clone his toe to then clone? Well, no, because
No, he scraped him
Yeah,
off. He
his
scraped him off
back.
of his back with a fork.
Oh.
So it's just, I guess, it could have been whatever toe was used
canon.
in the last in it. They've never, he's got that whole machine. It's not like he doesn't use it for other people.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a smidge of a toe, though. Is dog nougat? How do you feel about nougat in general?
I love nougat.
Nougat's
because
great.
Really?
Three Musketeers is one of my
It's
favorite
mine too.
candy bars, and it's just chocolate and nougat.
Mm-hmm.
What is nougat?
Just whipped
It's like
goodness.
yeah, it's like a fluffy, chocolatey cream.
Made out of what? Like, I understand what
Chocolate
it
and
is.
like whatever.
Sugar.
Yeah, it's
Chocolate, sugar, I don't know.
not quite it can't be quite like a meringue because meringues harden. But I would say it's probably some kind of air infused chocolate dairy mixture.
Made with sugar, honey, roasted nuts, whipped egg whites,
There you go.
and sometimes chopped.
So it is
candied
kind of like
fruit.
meringue where it's whipped egg
Fruit?
whites.
Yeah,
Oh.
I've never had a fruity nougat.
No.
but
I don't mix my fruit in desserts.
Oh, I do all the time.
I think if you got a fruity nougat, it would be akin to like a fruit cake. It's not
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, these are fresh strawberries in my nougat. It's like, here's a.
Or would it be like a cheesecake? Because it's like whipped.
Well, I think,
or
but nougat's
meringue?
still got that tacky, like
Whipped.
it's got that tacky.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I ask is like, I like it in theory. I'm a fan of Three Musketeers and Milky Ways and whatnot, but I always feel like when I eat some form of nougat, it's really acidic. It burns the back of my throat.
Well, baby demigorgons apparently love nougat.
They're awful. Would you clone a baby demigorgon?
Spoiler alert for people who are dumb and haven't watched the new season of Stranger Things. Sorry. Like you didn't know. So
It turns out 11 is a demigorgon.
And she grows her hair out. It's bullshit. It's just not the same.
That is not what I expected her hair to look like when it grew
No.
out.
No, like Peter Stormare. Actually, in the punk rock episode, she just kind of looks like a mini Peter Stormare.
I don't know who that is.
bitchin'.
You do. You'd know him if you saw him. He's in a million things. He was in Fargo. He was in American Gods. Are you
don't
kidding?
either.
You guys,
We're all laughing.
No idea.
Yeah.
We're all laughing. It's like Rick and Morty. He's
No,
a regular
you
red
know who
red
he
grin
is.
grumble. I don't know who that is. For everyone
God.
listening,
Where
Pete
is
is now showing us his phone. Whoever this guy is, I don't recognize him. But
acting career. He was in the Frogger episode of Seinfeld. He's in The Big Lebowski. He was in Armageddon. He was in
who
Bad
was
Boys
he in the
2.
big? Was he the Jesus? Who was he?
In The Big Lebowski?
Yeah.
No, he was one of the thugs.
Oh,
He was on Prison Break. He was in
I haven't seen any of those things.
he's in a bunch of video games: Mercenaries, Playground of Destruction, Mercenaries 2, World in Flames, Icewind
You can't
Dale
be in a
2.
video game. You're just the voice of a
Not if
video
they
game.
not if they turn you into a thing. He was in Swedish Dicks. He was in John Wick 2. He was in American Gods. You'd know him if you saw him. He's a big fucking Swedish guy, but he's always got slicked back hair.
Okay.
In Fargo.
Well, you
he's
said
the-
John Wick 2, and I have seen that. I have not seen the movie Fargo
movie
or the show.
Fargo.
Okay, I have seen Fargo.
Okay.
Not the show Fargo, but the movie Fargo I have seen.
The show Fargo is very good.
I haven't
Okay,
gotten into it. I know it's
Fargo.
good,
I
but-
know who he
With-
is in
with
Fargo.
Steve Buscemi.
Okay, yeah,
he's,
yeah,
the,
yeah, yeah.
he's the other guy.
I can
Okay.
picture him.
And
Okay,
put
yes.
Steve Buscemi in the thing.
I got it. Okay.
That's Peter Stormare. Still delaying the dead dog talk.
Yes. Pause.
So there's
Pause.
All right, so there's another flashback that comes up. Fry is playing the arcade game Monkey Fracas Jr.,
I love that.
which is that kind of like Donkey Kong or
Yeah, I
Like,
don't.
what
think
is it?
it's-
Or ape escape, monkey fracas? I don't know.
So I
What
think
was
that
big
it's-
in 1999?
We brought that up before. I don't think it's an actual game.
No, but
well, no,
it's
Monkey
like,
Fracas Jr. is not a game, but what's it?
episode 1, it was in it because that's
Yeah, it's the-
But then it
yeah.
was also in I think episode 2 when they go to the moon, to lunar land or whatever.
Oh, maybe it is.
And as he's playing that, or maybe he's playing Moon Patrol or both. But it's just like it's such a great name for a game. I can't believe it hasn't been turned into one.
Maybe he was also, I think, just Monkey Fracas. Not
Well,
Monkey
there's a
Fracas
Monkey Fracas
Jr.
Jr. that
Probably is a
Make-
Monkey Fracas.
should be a Monkey Fracas. You don't get to use the word fracas very much. Here's the thing that that really drove me nuts about this is it's like when they do the full on Nibbler retcon now on that flashback
Yeah.
with the
Yeah, the
shadow and the
shadows.
eye in the garbage can and like
Yeah.
we
Well,
how
What was the
long
purpose
ago?
of that?
I guess it happens later on, right, Tom?
Yeah,
like
so
it
there's
all-
what is it? One of the movie? Is it in the movie or is it
No,
one of the
it's-
upcoming episodes?
It's in an upcoming The Why of
the
Fry.
Why of Fry. That's
It
right.
might be the next episode.
I think
'cause
it
we
might
jumped
be.
around a little bit. I'm still annoyed by it though. Like it just seems like they got bored midway through the 4th season and decided to fuck with shit.
Yeah, but even in the pilot episode, there's the
Is the shadow
the
there?
shadow is
Alright.
there, so they had it planned. But the actual like eye
Yeah.
looking out,
Yeah.
that I thought that was a little like,
Too on the nose.
Yeah.
yeah.
So Fry's on his way to the applied cryogenics lab, and Seymour's upset about it, and he's pulling on his pant leg,
He
and-
thinks he doesn't
Mr.
think your pants
Panucci.
is too short or something.
which is crazy because frankly, you look fabulous. That's great. So blah blah blah. Same thing that happens in all of the many scenes where Fry gets cryogenically frozen. He goes in, icy wiener, oh crud, and that's classic line, oh crud. Then we see that's the same thing that generally happens in all these flashback episodes, other than the retcon.
Yeah.
Is the same exact animation comes up that was in the first episode. Other than that, Shadow.
Well, his maybe I'm jumping out, right? Maybe I didn't take the notes, but like Fry's parents come to the cryogenics lab.
That's like the next flashback.
Is it?
though.
Oh my
yeah, there's
God.
like it goes back and forth so many times
Yeah,
because
it's-
my next note is that Bender has Charlemagne's bones.
Yes, and a head-based laser show and reading glasses.
Yeah.
Like there's just a lot of weird.
Why'd you
gags.
give me the Daily Growl? This isn't a reputable newspaper.
Oh, that's for Seymour.
I think I could watch Leela and Amy wrestle
Mm-hmm.
all day long, just like for purely creepy
Like
purposes.
sexy.
I really
what was the
enjoyed
point
that.
of that? Just like Amy and Leela were sexy wrestling to
They were
practice their
preparing-
hand-to-hand combat.
They were like, I'm not like, they were very adept at their wrestling
Mm-hmm.
moves. It wasn't just like, it was like a thing, but they were all dolled up in like the outfits. It was like, frankly, it
And
was
they
kind of
did
erotic.
it up in like the lounge area. Like
Yeah,
they
they
could have
were
done
like-
it anywhere.
Well, it's basically what my daughter does in the living room. She just lays out yoga mats and does all kinds of shit. And like, this
That's
is-
awesome.
No, it's not, because I'm waiting for her to kick over the TV, and then I'm gonna lose my shit.
You need
our
to
house is not big
secure
enough.
it.
I don't need to secure it. You leave the fucking TV alone. You don't do cartwheels in the living room. Have you seen how small my house is? Hey, have you seen how big my daughter is now? She's 8 and she's almost as tall as my wife. It's terrifying. She's gonna be some sort of a monster, just all legs and locked in her room. It's a terrible thing. But like the Robo Puppy that Bender gets, it reminded me like there's always been the weird robot puppy.
Oh, that was
There
like
was-
the year that those toys came out, though. The
Was
Robo
it?
Puppies, yeah, back in like 2000. I remember having one because I was in
Yeah,
2000. I
you-
was 12.
Oh God.
Did you really have one?
Yeah, my neighbor had one.
Was it cool?
Did its
no,
did its
they were
tongue
dumb.
make sparks?
No,
I
they
never
were
had
stupid.
a robot.
They were just.
dog.
It was plastic, and it just went. "Er."
When I was
One of
younger.
the iTunes ones?
There
Like
was
for
no
your
such.
iPod?
No, iPods
No?
did not exist when I was 12.
I love that Becca makes you sound old too.
Oh.
This is what it feels like every damn week.
I know what you're talking about,
Yeah.
Becca. Like
This little guy.
those, yeah. But and then I think I know what you're talking about. what I remember
the
what I wanted when I was a little kid. One of those dogs that would bark, run, and then do a backflip.
What?
Mine had fur.
They had them out in front of
its
KB
tongue.
Toys.
Yeah.
And just
Yeah. So mine had fur, and you could press on its tongue, or I guess it had like a plastic bone that I probably immediately lost. But it would go like, arf, arf, and it would do that. It would like lay down and then stand up, but it was just like robot legs that would like lift it up and down. I don't think it ever jumped. It didn't have that kind of power, but
could you talk to it?
I mean, no.
I mean,
I don't think that
but it
technology
didn't
came
hear-
out
it
until
didn't
the Furby.
listen.
Oh, did I? Did I talk to it? Yes. Did it? No.
I was a little disturbed by the fact that there's like an open lava pit underneath the Planet Express building.
Yeah, they come back
Yeah.
to that actually.
Do they?
It's reoccurring.
Okay, so and then that's what's powering the Clonomat. But then when they take the elevator down, poor Scruffy is
Yeah,
doing
it's
it by
not an
hand on a
elevator. It's
pulley.
just Scruffy with the rope.
And he's
pulley.
really grunting
Yeah.
and like exerting himself for this.
Scruffy.
But then now we're getting to the crux of this whole episode. And really, like, all of this is bullshit until you get to the last like 2 minutes. Bender is so jealous of Seymour that he throws the petrified dog into the lava, and it creates this existential crisis for everybody. Like, it's such a dick move.
Well, because Bender came in to get Fry for the talent show, and Fry was like, "No, fuck off! Like, we're trying to bring my best friend back to life." Which, I mean,
It's
I don't
so
really blame
petty.
Bender.
It's so petty
Yeah.
and bad, and just the it's lava. For God's sakes, it's lava. Lava destroys things.
But Seymour may yet be all right. May yet? Really?
I mean, okay. So is Dolomite?
It's a real.
Yeah,
No, I know it's a real-
rock, a
well,
mineral, and also a black
He's
exploitation
a real
movie.
badass. Dolomite.
the tough
Yeah,
black
it's
mineral
a real
that won't cop
badass.
out when there's heat about.
Well, see, that's just a Shaft reference, which is just they're just getting their black
they're just-
exploitation mixed up.
Just
but
trying.
yeah,
But first of all, is Dolomite actually black?
the rock Dolomite.
No.
No, it's like bright white and red and
Right.
pink.
So number one, there's that. Here's the
It's
Dolomite
every color
website.
but black, actually.
This one has black speckles in it.
Yeah,
But
I've
it's not
seen.
the
I've
same.
seen it.
But is it a sedimentary rock? I guess I have the Wikipedia page up.
No, I don't
could
think
answer
it
my own
is.
question.
It's
The term is also used for a sedimentary carbonate rock composed mostly of the mineral dolomite. So
It's
it's,
not
it's a
a
mineral,
it's not
but then there is a
sedimentary.
rock that can form and deposit. So I guess Seymour could have been petrified dolomite. So
yeah,
that tracks. Good.
that
could have been.
tracks.
Could have been rain. Dolomite rain.
Possibly. I mean, who knows what was in the water at that point?
We get another flashback.
another
Because
one.
these flashbacks, we even skipped one with the. So they're waiting. The Fries are waiting for Philip to come home for New Year's Day, and he
Yeah.
never comes. So Seymour shows up, and he's walking on sunshine, and trying to get everybody's attention because Fry never came back to the pizza place, and that's just basically the entirety of that
Right.
flashback is them saying like, "Hey, maybe Seymour can lead us to Philip."
But then
then-
Fry's dad thinks that the Y2K computers.
Yeah, so this next one is showing, what does it show? I've got like one note from it because it's so fast, but there's a Simpsons reference where they're showing businesses that Seymour's running around to trying to find Fry.
Really?
One
He's
of the
like sniffing stuff.
yeah,
trying
he's
to
like
find his son.
like he licked up Fry's hair at the barber shop
Oh yeah,
and all that
yeah.
stuff.
And then
So-
don't cash checks from this man.
Yeah, yeah. So Seymour goes to a like a putt place called Mr. Putz's, and there's a sign out front that says something about like due to
because someone inconsiderate
Inconsider-
created
yes.
an unsanitary condition.
that is a Simpsons reference
The
because
windmill, is that where
Bart was conceived in a windmill at a
Oh, yeah.
putt course.
I thought they were saying that like Fry took a dump there.
No, but that would also have been funny.
Yes, okay. That makes sense. So this is where now they
Yeah.
all tie together. But the Simpsons are a TV show in Fry's world. Oh my God, I can't wrap my head around it. That's
All right, so we're back in the year 3000 and whatever. And Fry is going to jump into the lava to try to save Seymour.
He takes his
And
clothes
he
off.
gets naked, like that will matter. And he runs up to the lava. He doesn't jump in, but he's looking at his reflection in the lava. But like
Lava doesn't.
the lava
reflect.
it doesn't reflect. It's not a reflective surface. It's molten rock. Like why would they do that?
I like that Zoidberg goes to Bender. You didn't do anything wrong. Don't beat yourself up. Like, he's such a I'll be your friend.
Yeah.
I could be your best friend easy. And then Bender is now 40% Dolomite.
Yes.
He's 40% everything
I know.
when the situation calls for.
You know what else? He loves Fry, not like the ancient Greeks, but the way when a robot loves a human.
Or sometimes how a gorilla loves a kitty.
Coco.
Did Coco get stuffed when Coco died? Is Coco still alive?
I don't know.
Or was Coco the one that got sad when Robin Williams...
I don't remember.
Oh.
I think there are probably a lot of gorillas named Coco.
Well, now
honestly.
there is.
It's like Shamu.
I think Coco
They
was
ship
the one that
around
could
the
speak
country.
sign language.
Oh, you know what?
Coco is the sign language gorilla.
First of all,
Oh.
That had the kitten.
The one with the
That-
kitten is
Coco's real name is Hanabiko, and Coco is a nickname, but Coco is still alive.
It is Coco.
And 46 years old.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, you go, Coco.
You go, Coco.
I'm looking for the Robin Williams story, which I think is just bullshit. I think that was just one of those things.
Well, that's
where
going to
people
make me
was
sad too.
What is it?
Supposedly, when Robin Williams died, they told Coco, and Coco, like, sign language, like, sad.
Oh man.
But
that's
that
rough.
seems like... but
How
then
would
looking...
Coco know?
Well, looking
You-
through that, there was some like short film Robin Williams and Coco. Of course, there was. Like he Patch Adams up the zoo
He also
or something.
she also signed that Robin Williams owed her $5.
Well, that's why she was mad. That's why Coco was upset. She was waiting for that $5.
For my money, World's Greatest Dad is his finest performance on film. I understand it's a transgressive role, but Bobcat Goldthwait's cinema. Sorry, it is a great movie. Go check it out.
So in yet another flashback,
Oh,
Seymour
too many
finds Fry.
flashbacks.
Seymour finds Fry in the cryogenics lab, and there's the hungover. Man, I am one hungover cryogenics technician. And Seymour's like digging at the
say-
cryo chamber.
Can't solve all your problems by freezing them.
Oh yeah. So that's when the Fries come in and they say like, "Hey, sorry we're late. We all got sick from bad bologna." And then Fry's dad says, "Y2K."
Oh
Yeah, the whole
paranoia.
thing. The bologna sandwiches on New
Yeah.
Year's Day brunch.
Yeah.
That really disgusted me.
Is that real?
I hope not.
Maybe
I
for the
hope not.
Fries. Go,
Yeah.
go.
I mean, look at their
touchdown.
house. They showed the exterior of their
Yeah.
house. You know what it
Yeah.
looks like.
It's like
Well, he's
a
got the
pile of
bunkers and stuff
2x4s
underneath, doesn't he? I thought he had like the prepper area
for the
where
Y2K
yeah.
computers.
Hey, where were you? I don't think we've asked this since you've been on the show, Michelle, and I don't think it'll matter because you probably weren't able to have memories.
Oh,
Where-
now.
Where were you
Zing.
at the New Year's Eve '99 to 2000?
I was 12, and I remember having like a wine glass, and the stem was 2000.
And
But I
drunk as
drank.
fuck?
No, I drank. I think I drank like Coke out of it or something. No, it would have been Pepsi because my grandma was a Pepsi lady.
Okay.
We always went to my grandparents' house for New Year's Eve, and we would just hang out. I just specifically remember being like in my grandparents' basement with my little wine glass filled with liquid. May have actually been grape juice. I don't know.
Was
but
your
like
shorts
waiting,
uncle there?
like I was just he probably was. Just waiting for Y2K, like the power's gonna go out.
Clark's gonna do it.
Shit's gonna go bananas like in 2 seconds. And I waited, and then the ball dropped, and then nothing happened, and I was very disappointed. I was looking forward to some martial law. Like I was a weird kid.
No, like
I still
even,
am really weird, obviously, but
I still hold it against the corpse of Dick Clark that like when
Jerky Clark.
when I first got aware of, and I have to say this right because it's wrong, the way that you're supposed to say it. New Year's Rockin' Eve.
Oh,
Just
not
that-
rockin' New Year's
Yeah,
Eve.
just that, and I don't know when that changed or why that changed. Like it's probably, I mean, like It was New Year's fucking Eve. Even that doesn't sound right. And you can put fucking pretty much anywhere. But like, it was probably Rockin' New Year's Eve. And then someone like trademarked it underneath him. He's like, well, fuck you. I'm just going to make it New Year's Rockin' Eve because I'm Dick Clark.
Well, then now it's Ryan Seacrest and some kind of weird robo Jenny McCarthy who I cannot stand to look at.
No, but it's the same
I used to
thing.
love her.
It's just...
She went nutty.
Yeah. Oh. Still,
like
still
after a while,
the dead dog.
before Dick Clark died, though, his skin looked like beef jerky. Like
No,
he
those
was
last-
so artificially tan.
Those last couple years
he
were
was
rough
rough.
because he couldn't really talk.
Yeah,
and
he
it's
was all
just-
stroked
but he
out.
wouldn't let go.
Right.
And the only reason I bring it up is the language he would use to describe what was going to happen to the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Be like, it's going to come plummeting down. And I was like, oh shit. Like they're going to cut those ropes and this giant frame of glass bulbs is going to drop. And then it's like explode and it's going to look like that scene in The Natural where he hits the baseball into the lights and it's like, bah, everywhere. No, and it's just like, it's Scruffy's up there with a pulley.
Mm-hmm.
9, 8, 7. So where were you, Tom?
Hiding out in my bunker,
Okay.
getting ready. No, actually, I was just at home. I did go out. I remember I went out and bought 2 jugs of water just in case. Because I figured,
I think everyone did, just in
sustain
case.
you.
like, they'll be fine. I don't remember. Let's see, 2000. I was in, sophomore year maybe.
Okay.
So
Nothing too crazy.
nothing too crazy.
Becca?
I was like 5 or 6, and I was at home with the flu. I had no idea what it was about, what was happening, and I was watching a Tremors marathon with my dad.
At 5?
Yeah.
That seems like very irresponsible parent.
I
I mean, we should have been talking about that for the last
Her
hour
dad
and
was
a half.
preparing her for what could
Yeah, it's
happen, what the future would
There
hold
might
after
be
that.
giant worms with Kevin Bacon. It's a problem. I think I was in Chicago. I think that's what. I think I was with some friends. They're just having like a party and nothing happened, and we just got really loaded and enjoyed ourselves, and then we woke up the next day and got brunch. I think that's what it was, but clearly it wasn't memorable.
My aunt and uncle, my mom's brother and his wife both work for national security.
Okay.
So they were like, "No, it's bullshit. Like this is not real. Don't worry about it. It's not going to happen. This is not how computers work."
What you need to worry about is reticulum zetas.
I don't know.
Or did I say that? Or is it zeta reticuli? I don't know. They're like the not grays.
Oh, don't talk about those.
No?
Are you
No.
freaked out by
Oh,
aliens?
Have you seen
Yes.
those Russian videos?
No.
Oh, I'll get to show you that after we're done. So, ultimately, after Fry decides not to jump into the lava, he just lets
Bender.
Seymour go.
Well, Bender does it.
Does he?
Bender jumps in there and
This
saves
might have been the
Seymour.
point where I start blocking it out.
Yeah, yep. So because Bender's 40% dolomite, and because Bender threw Seymour into the lava and he starts feeling
That's right.
bad,
His eyes
Bender,
melt.
Bender jumps
But
in
his,
the lava.
his side busts open when he's in the lava, and they don't ever address that.
No, he comes up, he's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it opened up when he was in there.
Well, maybe the other 60% of Bender that's not dolomite melted back into Bender shape.
That's the sort of thing that I would find a issue with, Becca, and apparently the answer is
Cartoon
cartoon logic.
logic.
Well,
It's
just
a
gotta deal
fucking
with it.
cartoon. It's my.
Yeah. Yeah. So they do get Seymour back, and Professor starts the clonomat, and the clonomat says, canine familiaris and age 15. So Fry says, "Oh, well, he lived another 12 years after I was gone, and he probably added new songs to his repertoire, and he probably forgot about me a long time ago." And this is where I start to fucking cry, because this is where this becomes the saddest cartoon in the history of cartoons, because you got Connie Francis singing "A Thousand Summers, I will wait for you," and the dog just gets old. And it snows, and there's leaves, and then it's summertime, and then it snows again.
There's
and then
12
he dies.
different, it makes it up like 12 years.
Yeah, well, look, okay. I get it. It's sad.
Summers.
Here's my confession. I wasn't really moved by it. Now, I know I'm dead inside, so I'm just laying that as a baseline. But here, I mean, like, I get it. It's sad, but at the same time, for that damn dog to just pine away for 12 years, like, he really didn't have any sort of ambition or anything. Like,
It's a
at
dog.
It's
certain
loyalty.
Yeah.
look,
It's loyalty.
Well, it's,
you know what?
There
You
have
know
been
who else was
several
loyal?
dogs in dog
The
history.
Nazis. I mean, he
Well,
could
that's
have.
why Hitler killed his dog.
Right. You could have.
And Eva Braun.
He could have found another dumb delivery boy. Maybe not as dumb as Fry.
He could have, but he didn't.
He didn't.
And that's
So
what's
he-
so good about dogs.
He was unwilling to help himself. And that's not a good, personality trait. I'm not trying to shit on Seymour. I'm just saying, like,
For a
it's
dog?
sad.
He was miserable before he met
Yeah.
Fry.
Mm-hmm.
Hung out with Fry, and then he met him in '97. So they spent
3 years.
years.
3
He
years
says it.
together.
Yeah. Why didn't you leave Cody in Florida, Tom?
Because that would have been so sad. He would have been.
Oh, he would have been the saddest.
Yeah.
Would he have, though?
He would have been so sad.
If he got to just stay there and wait, get to guard. Look, I know you love him. He's a very nice dog. I'm positing an alternate reality.
No. Eventually, he probably would have gotten over it, as any dog would eventually get over it. But
I mean, this is the kind of line of questioning
I-
that would make Horchie quit the show again. I
I
get
would-
that, but I'm
I
being
would-
sincere.
no, I would hope that that's the point. It's so sad. It's like the dog just sitting there waiting for him. Like, it would be way happier if he was sitting there waiting, and then a family came over and took him. And
yeah,
then,
they saw him sad and they
yeah.
took him.
That's the saddest part, is that he's sitting there lonely waiting for him.
Right.
Nobody but Mr. Panucci coming
Okay,
out, giving him a
so
little scratch. every
Mr.
once in a
Panucci
while.
could have played him pep talk by the Descendants and patted
Mm-hmm.
him on the butt and been like, "Go out, go get him, go get him."
That's true.
and that's
But
the whole
he
thing.
loves Fry.
But
Look, you can still love someone. You can love the memory of someone. I've dealt with this similar situation in real life with people where, not me directly, just I have been around people who lost someone and they just were like, I'm done. And it's like, well, you're not doing anyone any good. Like, you can pine and pine and pine, or you can, learn to deal with the grief and get on with your life and still be productive. That dog sat on his ass for 12 more years. I'm going to get flamed to death on Twitter. I get that.
It's
I'm
a
not
dog.
trying to be
Dogs can't
insensitive.
process grief.
I'm going to tweet
dogs-
right now, you hate.
I'm glad I turned notifications off for the Slurmcast Twitter because, oh my God.
Dogs apparently can't remember things for minutes. I get it. I get where this creates sadness, and it is sad that he just missed Fry so much that he basically just wasted away to nothing and died. But I feel like,
He didn't die at the end, though.
well, he died at some point. 'cause
They
he turned into
insinuate that
rocks.
he dies. They just don't show
He's,
when.
he's not
Right.
alive
Well, he
in the
lays
museum.
down and closes his
Oh,
eyes.
yeah, that's even
he
fucking
dies.
sadder.
He dies. That's
He
that's
doesn't
him
die
dying.
there because when he gets covered in dolomite, he's standing up.
Okay.
in the pizza shop.
Yes. So
Well,
he didn't die at that point.
That's true.
I
just
feel like they insinuate that that's how he dies.
It's an implied death.
It's to make it look even sadder.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
How did this episode won
this is
an
what
Emmy?
makes me feel better. Yeah, it did. Well, it was nominated. I think it lost to The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So what makes me feel better about this episode is that it gets completely retconned later on in one
What?
of the movies where
Oh my God.
yeah. So there is
A
an
happy
episode
resolution?
where Fry doesn't get frozen and
Oh.
he lives in New York. Like he actually gets
That's Bender's
home and
big
he goes
score.
he goes
Yeah.
back home and he becomes I'm not gonna spoil it. Never mind.
Well, wait, hang on. So then Fry
We'll
has to
get to
deal
this
with the grief
later.
of a dead dog? Okay, wait a
No.
second. Let me rethink everything.
No, we'll get to that.
It-
We'll
there's-
be
yeah,
to there
we'll
shortly.
get there.
It's
We're
the
getting
first
there.
movie.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
the first movie. So
Look.
we've got technically this episode was broadcast season 5, episode 2.
Really?
So this one is it's almost like we're skipping over a whole bunch of stuff that the world would have seen before all the rest of the season 4 stuff that they've already seen.
Like I understand the sadness of it. Like I'm not trying to downplay that, and I get like it's moving. Well, it's moving if you're not dead inside. I get it. I can process it in the way a sociopath does, where you're like, I understand, but I'm just gonna pretend like I'm not. I was expecting to
Very,
be like
it's very sad.
Look, I have had to hold my dogs as they are put down. I bawled like a baby. I understand the sadness of like losing a pet. I also can understand the joy in losing one or 3. I'm just saying, wishful thinking. But this was something where it's just like, he's just like, oh, I'm done. And he waited, but you could still be loyal and be like, I'm gonna come back every day and just wait, but I'm not gonna wait here every day because I got dog things to do. There's the 29 bus to chase. I can go in and get some pizza. I can use this as a home base. And come back, be like, hey, Mr. Panucci, did you see Fry? And he'd be like, oh, hey, Seymour, Fry came back, and then like everything's good. Wait here tomorrow. Like,
how did his parents not see
They
him
just
in
didn't
that?
look.
I know.
Yeah.
They
Didn't
weren't
look.
looking.
They were kind of shitty parents.
They are very shitty parents.
And Yancey was not a great brother either until like he established himself as being kind of shitty, and then it was really his son that redeemed him.
Yeah. Well, I guess Seymour had also seen Fry in the tube. Was he just waiting, hoping that he would be coming out soon?
Yeah, why didn't he go back? Again,
why wouldn't he just stay at the cryogenic tube? That would even be more sad of him just sitting and sleeping by
the
cryogenic
hungover cryogenics technician probably would have called the Fries
Yeah.
and had him take Seymour home again. But
well, the hungover
or just frozen him.
cryogenics technician didn't recognize that one of their things was
Yeah,
filled up with a
because
guy
he was
that didn't
hungover.
Yeah.
work for it.
Yeah, and then that guy stayed there for another 1,000 years.
Yeah.
Well, technically, okay. So here's what I want to know: if Seymour was fossilized in the year 2012, because he was 3 when Fry.
Yes.
Yeah, whatever. So does that mean that 2012 is when
The first alien
the
attack
first
occurred?
alien attack? Yeah,
We don't know what happened.
yeah, but that's what would have had to happen if Seymour was petrified in 2012 at age 15. So at what point does Fry?
Well, hang on.
How long was Fry unnoticed in a cryogenic chamber? Or am I just unraveling the
Because
whole
he could have
premise of the show?
died. Seymour could have died. And
Been
then
buried.
the petrification process could have happened. It's like when they find the Icelandic mummies in the peat bogs or whatever, like those guys died.
They
and then,
die in caves.
not necessarily. Some of them do, and they're in the cave. They
That's
like
usually when they
desiccate and
get-
dry.
yeah.
But there's the peat bog ones too.
Where they never decompose because they've been under so many
It's like
layers
if
of-
you hit that right combination of chemicals, it leaches out the moisture and replaces it with other shit all at kind of the right perfect rate. But so he could have, he still had the nougat center,
You're right.
but the I would guess, I wonder how that works. Like if you, this is petrified wood.
That's what I'm saying, because you wouldn't have the creamy dog nougat center, the creamy core of dog nougat,
But you might.
unless he was flash petrified.
It was
or,
it was flash fossilized.
Yeah, he was
I don't think that's a thing.
Fast fossilized. What
not
was it
in
called?
not in real life, but in cartoons.
Fast fossilized.
Yeah,
That's
it's-
not a
it's-
real thing.
It's addressed in the show though, like Professor says so.
But if you, say you have a log and it's in a riverbed and it becomes petrified
And there's
wood
a
over-
frog on the log.
and it jumps in front of a car and gets
And the
smashed.
frog on the log is in a bog.
But the if you have a piece of wood that's getting petrified by slowly having its organic elements replaced with rocks, it doesn't happen from the inside out. It would have to happen from the outside in, wouldn't it? I mean, we're talking about a process that takes thousands and thousands.
You know what?
Thousands
Also,
of years.
alien technology probably has a gun that could just fast fossilize you.
Why
So maybe
would-
that's
why
what
would
happened.
They do that though.
Because they were just going around shooting everything. Have you ever seen
With the
Mars
Zeta
Attacks?
Reticulans?
The fact that Panucci's Pizza was still a Panucci's Pizza, and we see Mr. Panucci like super old when Seymour is an old dog, that leads me to believe that 2012 was when Seymour died, and also when everything got,
Yeah, I guess.
buried and fossilized, because Panucci's Pizza probably wouldn't have been around for that long,
Yeah.
and the dog wouldn't still be there, like in the pizzeria.
But in that scene, he just laid down and went to sleep. He didn't die.
Sure. Yep, that makes me feel better. That's what I'm gonna think from now on until forever.
I believe.
You're gonna believe when you see these videos.
Is
Oh,
it,
I've seen
is it the
this
creepy
video.
alien?
It's the Russian KGB videos.
Yeah,
Oh,
I've seen it.
I think
Yeah.
we watched it here at some point,
No.
or we discussed it at least.
I heard about it on a different podcast, and then I went and looked it up.
Wait,
and
no, did you talk about it on Second Shot? Maybe.
It's possible. Look, they're walking around on a family vacation.
Oh yeah,
It's,
yeah.
It's creepy. They find the camera, and he comes back to kill him.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's pretty
Like,
dark.
I think it's funny that people still think the alien autopsy video is real when the guy who made it is like, no, I made it. It's fake. Like, why do you still think this is real? I fucking made this.
Excuse me, if you were trying to keep it secret, that's exactly what you would do. You would create a
Yep.
red herring to discredit the source
I
of the
remember
video in
watching
the
that
first
with my
place.
grandma. She is super into that stuff. I used to watch X-Files with my grandma.
You're drinking Pepsi
Yes.
and watching X-Files and alien autopsy videos.
Yep.
She sounds like a pretty sweet lady.
She's really cool.
That's it's good. It's good to have good grandparents. 'Cause usually your parents are bullshit. That's what my daughter tells me.
Oh my god.
Wow.
I mean, just when she's mad, but you know, I mean, just saying.
So I learned something today that this is actually the first time that Becca ever saw Futurama. This was the episode.
What?
It was. Yeah, I had a friend
Oh, I
promise
thought,
at the
like-
show.
Oh, yeah, I thought you meant like
No,
Was
this
tonight.
Was the first
No.
time.
We watched
Wow,
it.
this is
Ever.
the first
No.
episode I had ever seen.
Okay.
I don't know if I saw this one on the original airing. I may have been checked out before this. I probably caught it at some point, but again, it clearly
I think I
didn't
probably
resonate
saw this
with me.
one. I probably saw this one in my college years when I was watching it on Adult Swim in the
Did it
syndication.
inspire an art project of some kind?
No, all my art projects were stupid
You know what?
because
The baked
they're
potato?
so constrictive. That was a different So that was a different school. Like I went to Ohio University for a year and lived in the dorms, and then moved back home and went to OSU. So like when I was in the dorms and could do whatever I wanted, I watched a lot of Futurama. I didn't do
I don't
much
blame you. That
outside.
place is full of hippies.
Yeah.
So, see, look. Sorry for the interruption. Thank God the state of Alabama came to its senses. Congratulations, Jenny from Geek
The
and
Block.
Sassy. I imagine she lives on a block too, but fan and internet friend Jenny from the Geek and
yes.
Sassy podcast was concerned that she might be let down by her countrymen and women, and she wasn't. So,
Yay.
Yay.
No pedophiles ever.
well, this time at that level.
I'm just saying in general.
Wouldn't it be cool if the guy who won was the guy who does all of the like physical Andy Serkis type acting? Because isn't his name Doug Jones too? He was in Hellboy in the suit, the mantis looking guy.
Don't know.
That would be really cool. I'm sure it's not the same guy, but it'd be fucking rad if it was. Like,
I don't think so.
would like if it was Gollum versus a real actual live Gollum. Anyway, yeah. So my last note is Seymour waits outside Panucci's forever. Hakuna Matata.
Real quick,
Mm-hmm.
when Leela was about to jump in the lava, she started
she,
ripping off
her
her,
bikini.
and I don't know.
Going back to my earlier comments,
Yeah.
could have watched that all day long because it's so selfless and so
Fan service.
Just, she's a confident woman. That's so just competent and strong and powerful. It's very
one eye.
Yeah. Well, it's just those are all really attractive qualities. It's just she's a self-made woman, and it shows. I didn't mean to make this all creepy.
And on that note,
this episode is really not that good.
it's not.
It's
like
really-
I was thinking it when I watched it twice, and I was like, wait, this was.
It's just
I remember this differently. It's so fast. It goes by so fast.
yeah.
It just does not feel like a 22-minute long episode.
No.
And most of
At
it's
all.
most of it's
like-
flashbacks.
Yeah, it's so
and
many
scenes of a
flashbacks.
just sad, scruffy, like skinny dog.
I feel like the jokes basically wrap up by about minute 13, and then the rest of it is just kind of a slog. After the swimming and the pizza sauce and doing three things at the same time, like it's all pretty downhill from there.
I wish I could swim in a vat of pizza sauce with meatballs.
Oh my god. That's
He's just
hungry.
eating meatballs and pooping out new ones.
Oh.
You know what? And he'd eat them. If you were a dog, that's literally the definition of heaven.
That's true.
He's like, oh, protein in, protein out. Here we go. Any concluding thoughts? Anyone? Wait, hang on. This is the first episode you saw, and then you continued to watch it?
I did. Well, I did. I had a friend swear that it was like the funniest show ever, and this was the episode. And I was like, at the end, I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about? Why did you make me watch this?"
Bad
And then
choice.
I gave it, a chance later on.
Yeah.
But they didn't know what episode it was.
Uh-oh. I think... Check your mic. You might have... I
it
think
going?
Yeah, oh, there we
Yeah,
go.
okay. So they didn't purposely make me watch that episode. It just came on TV, and it happened to be that one. So it wasn't intentional. I hope it wasn't intentional. But,
I would think that this would not be the first episode somebody would want to show.
No, I wouldn't
So-
either. No, it was
Like-
very sad.
It's... Yeah, I mean, it's a bold choice to make a show about a dying...
Dead dogs.
Depressed dog.
Sad dogs.
Boo.
Oh, hey, it's great to be back recording new episodes, though.
It's great to see everybody.
Yeah, well, it's nice of you to come and share the sadness with us, Becca.
Oh, absolutely.
Do you have anywhere on the internet you'd like people to find you?
Not really. No.
Yeah, so
If you're really sharp, you can probably figure it out. But you're gonna have to work for it.
Oh, they had Kitty the Techno Kitten.
Is that like the
also-
robot dog?
Yeah, because the Techno, the robotic puppy, is what it looked like.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's the one.
Was that the plastic bone you lost?
That's not the
almost
one that I
immediately?
had. I'm gonna find the one that I had because my robot dog had like fur. It was
That doesn't sound like a robot. That sounds like something that nightmares are. made
robot
out
on
of.
the inside.
And for some reason, I had to feed it and give it water all the time.
That sounds like some kind of Westworld bullshit. While you're looking up your terrifying RoboDog, we can be reached at slurmcastpod@gmail.com. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter and Instagram at slurmcastpod. Slurmcast.com has all of our episodes. It has a link to our TeePublic shop where you can buy some pretty great T-shirts with Futurama's themed things. We get a cut of that when you buy it, so we appreciate
Yes.
it when you do. They run
Some
sales all the
people
time,
have.
I guess.
Yeah, they run sales all the time, and some people have bought some.
You can text or call us at 216-438-1077, which is how much a cheese pizza and a Coke cost at Panucci's Pizza in 1999. 1077 is it wasn't like 200,000.
Not the whole other rest of it, yeah.
Just rate and review us on iTunes, please. Tell your friends if they're so inclined. Is there anything else we're missing? We haven't done this in a long time.
Also, we're going to be available on Spotify soon.
Oh,
Hell
really?
yes.
So we can more streams of fractional cents coming into our bank account.
Yes.
So many
Yes.
decimal places in the
Yes.
wrong direction.
That's going to be set up soon. At least newer episodes will be coming out on Spotify. I don't know if you'll be able to access the older ones yet or not. So working on that. We are also right now for this season coming out with our episodes every other week. So
that should be, I think after this episode, we may be going back to our normal weekly schedule. And if this schedule is working right, this episode will be coming out right between Christmas and New Year's. So we hope all of your non-denominational holidays were great and that your 2018 is better than this shit show of a year we've had.
And don't fall in a cryogenic freezer.
Or do, because apparently you can have cool adventures with fun people.
Icy wiener. Oh,
God.
And on that note, have yourselves a good week until next time.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.